Hello friends, the COVID lockdown has brought about online schooling as almost the norm. It is difficult to predict whether our children would be able to get back to the proper schooling, the proper physical schooling in the old style. Online schooling has brought about a lot of challenges to both the children and the parents, not to talk about teachers and the school management. While everyone is concerned about the availability of gadgets and the completion of the syllabus on time, there are also challenges that the children face in terms of physical, social and even mental aspect. The children are forced to imagine sitting in a classroom while they're actually sitting at home. Now that calls for a lot of impact on their minds and even their bodies. Now this is not to say we need to stop the online schooling, but let us think how our children can enjoy and benefit from the very little breaks during their online schooling. So probably there are some activities they could perform to bring back the humanity within them. Something which could make them live like human beings rather than just looking at the pixel screens. Now these activities can be divided into three: the physical, the social and the mental aspects. Coming to the physical aspect, the first activity they could perform is stretching exercises, because when they sit for a long time, their body gets obese and even the blood circulation is affected. So we have to make sure the children do sufficient stretching exercise during the short-term breaks and probably during the long-term break as well. The second physical activity, and in fact the most important, is the blinking of our eyes. Eyes are perhaps the most important organ used during the online schooling. So we have to make sure that the child gets sufficient break and rest for the eyes. The child could blink the eyes for 10 times in a very meditative mode. Now this is very simple exercise and perhaps seems very trivial. Now during screen hours, the eyes get dry. So the child should, during the break, go to the washroom and wash his eyes so that the eyes become fresh for the next session. The parents at home should also make sure the child drinks enough water, because during these long hours the child forgets perhaps unconsciously to drink water. So either the child drinks lots of water during the break, or the child should make sure that he or she drinks water during the sessions. The child should also eat energy giving nuts and fruits so that he does not feel tired until the end of the school session. Online schooling is an isolating experience, so we have to make sure the social life of the child is given enough attention. First and foremost, the child should make an effort to reconnect with the parents, because long hours of isolated learning experience will make the child sociophobic. He or she can just walk up to his mother and have a chit chat with them, or they could call up their father who is probably in the office or in the business and have a social discussion with him. And if your child is very lucky, they could also socialize with his or her grandparents. Another way to socialize at home is to play indoor games with the siblings. Yet another important way to socialize would be perhaps to feed your pet or even water your plants in the garden. Mental health is also very important to the child. During the online schooling, the mind is completely absorbed in the screen experience. So some form of meditation always helps to enrich the mental health of the child. Now book lovers could also perhaps read their interesting author so that they get an escape or a break from the virtual classrooms that they have been sitting for hours. Listening to a melodious song is also another way to have a nice break from the online schooling. What's most important is to disconnect physically and mentally from the screen. Online schooling is a virtual, manufactured or a doctored form of reality, which means you're sitting at home but your mind is supposed to be in the school. So it's important to reconnect your body and mind with the natural surroundings and natural relationships, which is independent of the screen pixels. And also don't forget to mute your audio and video during this break. Thank you.